Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. This week, it's just me, Laura, and Joe. Garby is out of town, and Jay is still up north. We talk a little bit of national news and local news, some Riverview news from Riverview, Florida, where we film from, and we have a good time this week. Happy birthday to Bubs. Rest in peace. His birthday was May 29th. And be sure to like us on Facebook, join our group page, join us on Twitter, and join our Instagram page. And you can see all of our videos at drinkingwithdrew.com. Drinkingwithdrew.com. See you soon. Just some added fling to the flam. Oh.
That's why I buy cheap sunglasses.
Son of a bitch.
Playing what? Which is hilarious. Can you hear the crackle?
No. Crackle pop. All right, everybody. It is May 30th, 2020. Trace. And just drink the Drinking with Drew show. My name's Drew. And today I'm drinking fucking water.
I was waiting to see what you were going to say.
What about the A&W?
I did have an A&W earlier. But yeah, I'm nursing a little hangover from last night.
Womp, 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 womp.
I know. It is what it is. It happens.
We can't afford the sound effect machine, so I have to do it for you. Womp, 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 womp.
Which one is it?
Oh.
Well, you don't want to laugh. You don't want the, this is so freaking awesome. That one's not going to work.
I've got it in there somewhere. All right, so we are here. We have Laura.
Whoa. Thanks. That was pretty awesome.
And we have Joe.
That was it.
Joe.
Smart ass.
Yeah.
That's your title.
Smart ass?
Yeah, your shirt.
I know.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. Just reminding you.
I know what I put on.
We do have Simon in the studio. What's up, Simon? He is
harass
off,
Joe.
He is off camera right now.
He's a little below the belt at the moment.
He's sniffing my balls.
Uh-oh. Hey, bud. Oh, that was your face.
That
on
was
the
his
table.
head.
That was the corner of the table, too. Are you okay, bud? You okay?
He's fine.
Are you getting a black eye?
So we've had a interesting week. I think we've accomplished a lot this week.
Yes, we have.
For those that do not know, I'm putting a koi pond in the backyard, in the patio.
Upgrading.
I currently have a koi pond. So yeah, I'm upgrading and shadoozling and shadazzling. I bought myself a koi pond, a bigger one. And we got that, I don't know, somewhat started.
Yeah.
It fit in the patio. So that's step number one.
Right. We got all the parts for the DIY filter pump you're making. So
yep. Joe's going to help me finagle some piping
the
around.
tubing, the piping, yeah.
Joe's good with piping.
Joe likes to mess with everyone's pipes.
I mean, you handled it. I don't know if you handled it well, but you handled it. We've got, still we have to make the case around it, and we have to, cut some wood to make it surround.
Yeah, I think the decor, the wall, to make it look nice, that's not going to be done quickly. But we can get the pump set up, I think, and have it running within a week to switch the fish.
Switch the fish.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you cross your fingers and hope they're all there the next day. I'm going to put the phone number up here. If anybody's bored and wants to call in and say hello, feel free. 1-877-225-DREW. We're going to talk about a little bit of everything today.
Even if you're not bored, call and tell us
Even
why
if you're not bored.
Right.
We're going to try and talk to attorney Jared McCabe in a little bit. So he showed some interest in being on the show.
Sweet.
Matter of fact, I will text him while we're live and make sure he's still around.
Why don't you talk about the next topic so we don't have dead air?
You could talk. Feel free to fill in. You guys are two people.
He can't talk and type at the same time. So
he really can't.
I can't.
You have an entire pamphlet.
I have an entire pamphlet.
An entire pamphlet. I know that you have enough to fill the hour.
Should we just skip his pamphlet and talk about the Air New Zealand?
What's the Air New Zealand?
They're going to start a program this summer where they weigh the passengers before they get on the plane.
Good.
Oh man.
People, there's no screen for the agents to see the weight.
Right.
People can't see the weight, but at least the airline is going to have the weight of everyone that gets on so that they can evenly distribute the weight on the plane.
The way that airlines are created and put together these days, I think that's smart, but I think they just need to start manufacturing airplanes differently to allow people of different weights to be in certain areas of the plane because, I mean, they should have an area for larger people.
I mean, they should have larger seats in general for everybody.
Well, but they're trying to...
people do need larger seats.
They're like a subdivision. They're trying to fit 500 people in one community.
Yeah.
And they're putting their homes 5 feet apart from each other.
Right. Yep.
And the airplane's the same thing. So, you just need to be able to say, hey, look, we need to have at least 10 seats or maybe just by section, cordon it off and say, okay, this area is going to be for people over a certain weight.
Well, that would be like fat phobic. That's probably the wrong
then
word.
What do you want to do? I don't know.
I mean, it seems to be working so far, so I don't know why they need to know like what everybody weighs. They obviously are figuring it out with the luggage to make sure that it doesn't go over a certain weight so that the plane can stay in the air.
Distribution and weight balance.
It's the way that you have to distribute the weight in the aircraft.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember. I think it was one of the old Police Academy movies, and there were some big guys in Police Academy, and they all were going on a plane, and they were like sitting on the one side of the plane, and the plane was like sideways. And they're like, can you please go back to your seat? We're about to serve the meal. The meal? And he runs to the seat, and then the plane goes like this and levels out.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I do remember that. But, I mean, this isn't pamphlet talk, Joe, but...
I'm just saying.
I agree with I agree with the...
A lot of people don't want to have their weight taken before you get on a plane. I'm just saying, it's something
then you drive.
Okay.
If you're boarding a plane and you're putting 200 other people in danger by your weight.
Name one flight that went down because there was an overweight or obese person on the same side of the plane as the other overweight and obese person on the flight. It has not happened. Sure, you can say that that's the reason you want like weight distribution, whatever it is. But you know how much money airlines are making by having seat assignments? If you want a good seat, they make you pay for it. If you don't want to sit in the window or in the center seat, you pay more for your ticket. So I don't see how they're going to evenly distribute the weight if people are already paying more for seat assignments. They're going to have to get rid of one or the other. And I don't think airlines are going to want to lose that money. It's probably why they have the weight limit still on the bags so that they can charge you more money for your luggage.
Okay.
My 2 cents.
Next.
So,
Pamphlet talk.
Pamphlet talk.
I was just filling the gap while you're typing on your phone.
Yeah, well, Jared sent me I asked him for a photo to use on air earlier this afternoon, and he didn't send me one, and he just sent it to me as we're on air. I'm like, well, I can't get it on now. It's too late.
Version.
Send me, I can use it for the edited version. Send me this stuff
hold your phone up to the camera.
There you go.
Exactly. Send me this stuff when I ask for it. But we'll talk to Jared in a little bit. So Joe had his 10-year anniversary, 2 weeks ago, or was it last week?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Okay. So you were in the studio last week.
Yeah.
But we didn't mention it because we totally forgot. We mentioned your anniversary.
Yeah.
You talked wedding costs.
We talked wedding costs and some stuff like that. We didn't ask you how your anniversary night went. Are you still a virgin?
Oh, well.
10 years later, are you still a virgin?
Yeah. Yes, of course. I mean, if anyone who's been married, you understand. Yes.
So was it a good anniversary? Because we didn't want to call you at 10 p.m. because we thought we might disrupt you, or at 7 p.m. We didn't know what was going on over there. So.
You could have called. I wouldn't have answered, but I was actually in medieval times at the time you would have called.
Okay, but then you drove home.
Yep.
And then we had the podcast. Or was that podcast night, or was that Sunday?
I didn't.
It was podcast night, but they got home after we finished,
like 10:30 or so, 11 o'clock.
It was the band podcast.
And we had Jason
night.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the Thursday.
Jason Stallworth was here.
Right.
With the band.
And we were going to call you.
Yep.
But we didn't want to disturb you in case you guys were, busy doing anniversary things.
It was an anniversary thing. It was medieval times. We were getting our hands dirty eating chicken.
Okay. That doesn't really answer our question, Joe.
I know what your question is, and I know how to avoid the question.
He's beating around the bush.
Okay. You're allowed to beat around that nicely trimmed bush. Okay. So you had a water leak last week. So I come home. I was at Publix, and I come home. I hear this water gushing from across the street. I turn around, and I walk closer across the street, and I see that your house is just pouring water out of the side. We kind of diverted a disaster over there.
Yep.
Luckily, it didn't flood your garage or anything.
Yeah, so on the side of the house, there is a pressure release valve. So if there's extra pressure built up in the house, it is a place that you can go and shoot off that extra pressure. And once in a while, those valves go bad. And it was just shooting water everywhere. But I called the plumber, and they were luckily able to send somebody out really quick. The guy fixed it in like 5 minutes. He didn't have the part, so he had to like hang out in the garage for like a half an hour until somebody else brought him the part.
Yeah.
And then as soon as he had it, turned off the water, put the new one on, and he was gone in like 5 minutes.
What company was it? Let's plug them real quick, because they came out like immediately.
Oh, yes, they did. Chris's Plumbing. It's on 301 over in Riverview.
Okay.
It's south of Bloomingdale, kind of north of like Riverview Drive over there.
Okay. Cool.
And it's they've been really good. They were honest with their pricing. They came out and they did my water heater a couple of years ago, and they actually came in like $100 under what they quoted me then. But for this emergency call, they have a fixed like 1 hour minimum, and so it was pricey for like 10 minutes worth of work, but it was,
for the response time.
For the response time, yeah. I mean,
Right.
They're like, oh well, we have somebody in the area, but he's on a job. He won't get there for a couple hours, but he'll come to you next. I'm like, okay. By the time I got home, like 15 minutes later, he was there in like 2 minutes.
Okay.
So I was very happy about that.
Very cool. Very cool.
Chris's Plumbing, unofficial.
Chris's Plumbing.
God.
Okay. I'm going to use that every 5 minutes now. Every 5 minutes now. The reason why I said I was hungover is Rossi got a room at the Hard Rock. Technically, it's still open tonight. If we want to go back tonight, we could go back tonight.
For your anniversary?
No, for my birthday.
Well,
my
it's not.
birthday.
She got it for herself, but decided not to go.
So my birthday's next week. Send nudes. That's it. Just nudes.
He means noodles.
Yeah. So it so happens that she's also she gets all these comped rooms, which I'm hoping we will eventually start getting comped rooms, because we just got the rewards card
You're right.
and we're starting to actually spend money there. So maybe we'll get something eventually that says we get a room.
Right.
But apparently Rossi has like 1,000
But
per
she
year.
gambles too. And I'm not saying she gambles like a shit ton. She doesn't
No, she's
gamble
not
a
like
lot
a
at
gambling
all.
addict per se.
No, not at all. But we don't gamble. We just go there and spend the money at the restaurants and the bars and whatnot. So I hope that you get the same type of perks.
If you can remember to give them my card,
well,
it's your responsibility.
If you can remember to give them your card,
No, it's your
like you just said, I need to remember to give them your card.
You
that
know,
stays in your wallet.
when we're out, you are responsible for things in pockets and things that should not be lost.
Why don't you just have them make me a duplicate and then I can keep it in my purse?
If they
And
can
then I
do
don't have
that,
to worry about.
I don't know if they can do that. That's fine. Whatever. But we spent like, the first bar we went to,
It
we
was
probably
40 at the
spent-
first bar.
Okay.
Now,
so,
do you get credit for spending at the bar?
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, that's
anywhere.
good.
But the first bar we went to, we forgot to give them the card. So that didn't count. It's not
Right.
going it's not going to go on the rewards card. So
And
then
I'm pretty sure when I cashed out, you were in the bathroom. So I couldn't have given him your card anyway.
you could have waited. It was a quick peek. Tinkle, tinkle. And then the
He's like a 5-year-old.
Hard Rock was like $175. So
Yeah.
that would have definitely helped.
Right.
So we're going back next week.
Yep.
And we're going to do
Council
the
Oak.
official birthday dinner, which is going to be Council
Make sure
Oak.
you get the rewards points for that.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I'm sure
for
that's going to be a couple of pennies.
Oh, yeah, for
I
sure.
know. Thank you, Laura, for that birthday gift.
And that'll be my payment. So I'll have to remember to get your card when I pay for your
Well,
birthday.
hopefully you get credit for everybody's purchases, though.
Well, you guys are going to be there. So if you don't have a card, we'll swipe it on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to call Jared real quick. Jared, pick your phone up.
Well, while you're still calling him,
Okay.
unless he answers back quickly,
He will.
okay, then I won't talk.
Hey man,
What's happening?
how's it going?
Or as I like-
I didn't realize you needed the picture earlier, man. So I've been at work all day.
You
Yeah.
are live.
How
You are
dare you
live.
work?
Yeah, don't work. Yeah, so I need to upload that photo up into the software so when you talk I can plug it in, but I will still have that photo on the edited version that I upload to YouTube, but I just can't
cool.
use it for the immediate time being.
Oh, I got you. Well, anyway, sorry about that.
Nah, it's
So,
all good.
Happy early birthday.
Well, thank you. So Jared McCabe, he's an attorney here in Tampa. I won't ask you too much about your business, but where are you currently working? I know you went to a new place about a year ago.
Yeah. I'm doing negligence, personal injury work at the PennDOS Attorneys. So it's here in Tampa, and we service primarily the Latino community.
Okay. I
that's
hablo.
kinda
I hablo.
Habla español.
Everybody, muy bueno, muy bueno. La vaca,
Perfecto.
moo, la vaca,
Oh my
moo.
gosh, your favorite song.
It is my favorite song.
He literally will go to the Mexican restaurant down the street from our house.
I can
and
do
he
it like
will.
this now. La vaca, moo, la vaca, moo. There you go. See? I'm working on my sound effects over here.
Way to
Okay?
sidetrack the caller.
Sure.
Gotcha.
So, how do you like doing the personal injury stuff? I've known you've done personal injury for quite some time now.
Yeah, I mean, I had my own shop, and then I was doing kind of just general civil and a lot of criminal defense. I decided to come over with these guys and work with my boss now used to be my colleague. He was an associate at the time, so he and I got along well. So I came back on board here, and I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not easy, but you know, I get to help people.
Right.
Who are injured, you know, and you know, I know there are fakers out there and stuff like that, but I don't want to represent them. None of that. So I try to just help people who get real injuries.
Right. I hear you.
Yeah. So I had like kind of a crazy one this morning where it's when these people that get brain damage they have a hard time going about life.
Right.
Because of the brain damage, but it also makes it very difficult to prove up a case with somebody who's half coherent, you know?
Right. I hear you. I'm going to put your photo up on the, if those that can see, this is Jared in the photo he sent me earlier.
Probably going to be, oh, it's a good,
you can kind of see him.
Yeah.
He's right there. You can see it. Give him the good old thumbs up. So, you're a cigar aficionado, right? You smoke a cigar here and there.
Yes, I do. Yes, sir.
What's your cigar spot? You like the Cathedral?
Cathedral. I do like the Cathedral a lot. It's pretty cool. Yeah. I like, and they have decent house cigars as well that are pretty good, you know. So
right.
I usually get one of their house cigars and kind of hang out. You know, they got that cool outside koi pond, and
I'm totally jealous of that fucking koi pond, man.
I know, right?
It's like the I don't know, man. I walk up and I'm like, Jesus Christ. Although they need some water in it.
Yeah, you think they'll notice if we borrow one of their fish?
Yeah.
One goes missing.
One goes missing. Oh, a large bird. It just came out of nowhere.
Probably not.
Right.
The only thing is they need to put some water in that thing. Every time I see it, it's like a foot low. So
I wonder what that's about. I don't know.
They just wait till it rains, and it's not raining between November and February, and it's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, we were there the last time. There was this little, you know, it was a large koi, but it was a little chubby koi, and I'm like, there's not enough water for it. It's just like barely swimming around in there.
Right. And you almost fell in it last time. You were a little drunk. You almost fell forward trying to take a selfie or something.
No, you were worried I was going to kick my sangria into the pond because we were using the ledge as a table.
That too.
I did not. The koi are all safe.
But yeah, man.
Koi are big. Yeah, they're pretty big fish. They're cool. They're cool looking.
Yeah, they're amazing. So yeah, man, let's hang out there. Give me a call. Let's have a smoke and meet up. You know, this week, next week, or something. I know we're all busy. I might have to go up north next week or two for a case, but yeah, we'll get it done.
You go to the Cathedral and, you know, remote work a lot too.
Yeah,
so
we go up there, but we also go to Cigar International. We go to
King Corona.
I mean, we float around, man. You know, I'm not dedicated to one spot, so you know, whatever works.
I got you. No, that's cool, man. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, and I was just telling my boss how about your company, kind of, and what you do and stuff like that. How you've helped me with cases in the past. So.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. I'm always here when you need me.
I appreciate that. I respect it.
All right, brother.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Yep, thank you for calling in, and we'll do it again anytime you want to call in and shoot the shit with me, man. Feel free.
Awesome. Well, thanks, and I'll take care, everybody. I'll talk to you later.
You have a call-in number you want to give people if they need you, if they need your services?
Yeah, absolutely. 813-868-6981.
All right. Jared McCabe,
Thanks.
Tampa personal injury attorney. Talk to you soon.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Yep. He's a cool dude.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to PetSmart while we were getting these koi. Well, you bought a shit ton of goldfish, some more goldfish, but
I bought the feeder fish that are 36 cents that will turn into very large, beautiful fish at a fraction of the koi price.
Right. No, which is fine. So when we walk in there, I had to use the bathroom. Okay. And so you were at the fish counter.
Is that where you were?
I went to go pee.
Okay.
You didn't try to use the litter box, did you?
I was almost going to. So they have two restrooms. They were both locked. Okay. And then I'm kind of, because you don't want to, like, when the door's locked, you don't want to, like, stand right in front of the door and, like, wait for the person to come out.
Or harass the doorknob.
Yeah. So then I just kind of, meandered a little bit out, 20 yards away. And this lady comes out and I'm like, God, thank goodness. And I walk in and, oh my God, she fucking killed that bathroom.
Well, typically when they're that long, yeah.
Killed it. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my God. So I'm just like, let's do it. Get this pee done.
No, I would not have done it.
Whiz, 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 whiz. And then as I'm peeing, somebody tries to open the door.
Mm-mm.
And I'm like, motherfucker, because now that person's going to think I'm responsible for that stench. And I hate that. There needs to be some type of hand signal when you're like crossing, you're going out, the other person's going in, and you can give them that wasn't me lingo or something.
It was me.
In leather, I just say that shit was not mine, but they're not going to believe.
But then it's just awkward, and they're like, "Yeah, the fuck right, you just blew that up."
Yeah.
I can't lie, I smell it. Gross.
Yeah, so I was kind of like, part of me was a little ill because of the stench, and then a little kind of embarrassed because he thought it was me.
Well, that's a shitty story.
Yeah. Then I come back and Laura's got fucking a bag full of fish.
Yep. Hand-picked. They'll let you do it.
But yeah, women blow the bathroom up too, by the way, just to let you know.
Not me.
You didn't know that, did you?
Nope.
So Monty got his fourth victim.
He did.
Okay, so
Joe was victim number 2.
Joe was victim number 2.
Yeah.
Was Casey 1 or was Bubs?
3. Bubs was 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
And speaking of Bubs, sidetrack, this was on the very top of my pamphlet. Happy birthday, Bubs. Was his birthday yesterday.
Yep.
And
Happy birthday, Bubs.
we did a shot at the casino for Bubs, and I'll put that video on the edited version. So happy birthday. We miss Bubs and love him, and
we still celebrate him.
Still celebrate to this day. I think you said he was 1. He was the first victim.
Bubs was 1.
Okay.
Yep.
So
Joe
Monty,
was 2.
Monty bit Bubs in the butt. Then he bit Joe in the butt. Then he bit Casey in the butt.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so we were going to the casino last night. We didn't know how late we were going to be there. So Chrissy agreed to, which is Joe's wife, agreed to let the dogs out, which is basically walking in the house, opening the sliders, and letting the dogs out.
Right.
Joe, how'd that go? How'd you hear it secondhand?
Well, before you guys even left, she went over to see if they would let her in.
Right.
And that's
did a test run.
A test run. She came in and opened the door and then kind of like stood in the corner right by the door, and they just started jumping up on her, and she got a bite right next to the crotch, like right in the thigh.
He loves that little area.
Right in the
He's
thigh.
just like, butts for the dudes, cooch for the ladies.
Damn, lucky dog. I don't even get there.
Right. He goes immediately to third, fourth base.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Boom.
But Simon was jumping all over her because he knows her and is excited to see her, and she was using Simon kind of as her, tool, if you will, to try and get the littles to trust her.
Yep.
And know that she's not a threat to them. So
Right. Yeah. So we do have the camera at the front door. So
Yes, you got to bring that footage up.
we can put that in there.
we get alerted when somebody crosses into camera view. So we're
even the dogs are humans to the camera.
So I know we have it on human mode, detect human facial features, and they still pop in there, alerts us. We were at the Hard Rock and we get alerted and we're like, oh, it's Chrissy. She's letting the dogs out. And so we could tell her she was trapped in the corner for a minute, but she did put jeans on.
She
so
did.
that was
The second time she went over when you guys were gone, she put on jeans because she had already been bit the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So she didn't get bit the second time, just the first time.
Yeah.
But she said that she didn't feel it. Like she only saw it like when she was changing clothes and saw that there was like, it was probably just in all the excitement. She probably just thought it was like a nail or, them jumping on her.
Dogs jump and you get bumped into, but she didn't realize that there was like a puncture in her thigh.
Well, it wasn't a puncture. God,
you didn't see it. I tried to tell her to take her pants off so you could see it. You didn't see it.
I mean,
she said it didn't break her. I mean, she was in leggings and it didn't even
I'm
tear the
guessing it's
leggings.
the same thing that Casey had because Casey said the same thing.
Right.
It looked like a little smiley face on her though.
Mine looked like a full smiley face.
Yeah.
Hers just looked like a little cut, like right into the thigh.
Mm.
He leaves a smiley face because he's laughing at you as you leave.
And pretty soon there's going to be we're going to have enough victims. They're going to file a class action lawsuit.
That's why I feel like we need Monty bit this person and it sounds like it's so terrible, but it's a nip. It's not like he viciously attacks people. He's trying to scare people. Like he's protecting the house. He's just nipping people, like trying to herd people out of the house, and he nips them in the butt. It's not like he grabs hold and thrashes or anything. But it sounds vicious.
Make it like the 4th grade science fair. You go out to Michael's and get a $2 poster board, and then you put it up on the wall with everybody's pictures, and it's the Wall of Fame.
Yeah.
There you go. You can do that too.
Or we can get a tattoo on Monty's ear of every victim he's had. So
a little teardrop?
Initials of people he's snacked on.
You put it on his bandana.
Right.
Start his little...
We can put little notches in the little bed that we have by the door.
His dachshund gang for prison.
Yep.
So are you prepared for hurricane season?
Me? I don't do nothing. I just hang out in the house.
I'm not doing much.
Not since the first year you got here.
I know.
Oh, right?
The first year I went all out. I bought plywood, buckled up. Well, we were also looking at a Cat 4 or 5 hurricane too.
Putting holes in the wall and then trying to plug those holes afterwards.
Yeah.
And they're still half-ass plugged.
Joe's at our house helping us put the wood up, and he's like, I'm not fucking doing anything to my house.
I'm like...
We're prepping for the worst.
I'm sitting there laughing because you went out and bought drills and screw guns, and you bought regular drills, not an impact hammer. And so,
well, because there was a guy going around the community that was volunteering with that type of shit. So I was like, okay, he did a few. Then he said he was going to come back, and then Dave, neighbor Dave, that moved since then, but he was helping. So we had a good crew here helping. But I mean, I wasn't overly concerned about it. I was just like, hey, I just bought this fucking house. I just moved in. I at least want to have the wood for the future, which I ended up the wood got warped because it was just so fucked up afterwards. But I mean, I don't know. It's like
Mother Nature was not going to take your house in the first year.
No.
Well, you never know. And I mean, you don't know.
I was at Home Depot. I lucked out because they literally got a huge load of plywood like as I walked in. So I was like, and this guy volunteered because I didn't have the trailer at the time. So a guy volunteered to help me load it up and drive it to the house, and he wouldn't even, I tried to give him money for it and he wouldn't even take it. So, I mean, it all worked out, but yeah, I am I going to do that this year? I mean, I don't know, man. If they say it's going to be a bad year.
I hope not.
Should we start like buying the plywood, cutting it and storing it in the garage and getting ready for it, or waiting and then having to deal with the crowds?
No, you should definitely buy now for sure.
So are you going to buy now?
We'll see. I mean, we're going to be there buying koi pond stuff, so maybe.
It's true.
Maybe I'll buy some slices of plywood.
A little here, a little there.
So, in Riverview news, they found a body behind the Walgreens.
Supposedly. Well, I haven't seen any news articles, but that's what the Facebook...
301 and Big Bend Road, they found a body. They don't know if it was under the dumpster or behind the dumpster or what, so that's the confusing part. Apparently, there's a lady missing around here that they think it was possibly the lady that was missing.
Oh, I didn't hear about the lady missing.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just what I heard. Somebody on Facebook.
Facebook loves to give us news that we don't hear in the actual news, so we don't know what's real and what's not.
Right. So I think somebody was sleeping behind the dumpster, and then they went to go pick the dumpster up and put it down. It probably landed on top of them, because the first reports was somebody was found under the dumpster. And if you're found under a dumpster, you can't crawl under that dumpster.
Well, some dumpsters are up on like big wheels.
I looked.
It's a flat on the ground dumpster. Oh,
it's not flat, but it's like,
gotcha.
4 inches.
If you're not a cockroach, you're
not getting under there. So I don't know. We'll have to see how that goes.
The thing is, you're never going to find out because they're not going to have a follow-up article. The local news isn't going to cover it again.
There was no article. It was on the Facebook page, like just the local Riverview page. Somebody commented there was a presence at the Walgreens, and somebody...
DrewNews.com. I'm going to put on it.
The River Drew News.
River Drew. Exactly. I was tempted to go in and just be nosy and ask one of the people working there, like, hey, what's going on with the dead person behind the dumpster?
Right.
They're not going to say shit.
Put a little badge on and walk in with your piece of paper and a pencil like you're a reporter.
Fuck that. No, I'll just hear it rumor-wise. I'll just post rumors left and right.
Right.
Just be like,
we'll start the rumors right here.
The he said, she said news. That's all Facebook is anyways.
Don't forget they.
Right. I was going to say, be inclusive. The they, them news.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. So, a friend of ours got an invite to a cruise line.
Was it a scam?
No, a guy, you were there, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. A friend of ours got invited on a cruise by a guy.
No, the friend did the inviting.
That's what I just said.
Okay.
A friend of ours got invited to go on a cruise by a guy. She's a she. He's a she. He's a he.
She did the suggesting initially.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
She said she suggested it. But that person was all down and agreed.
Of course. Why not?
Right.
But there was a conversation that we had
right.
where if somebody invites you on a cruise,
we had to educate the said friend. Right.
That they think you're fucking.
Right.
Like
there's a level of expectation if you're paying for a vacation.
Right.
It's just required.
Right.
So I don't know where these people think like, oh yeah, I'm going to go on a cruise with Dave and we're just friends. No,
it's not
Dave
like she mentioned we're going to get our
sloppy.
own cabins, we're, or even like separate beds. And like, it sounded like we're going to go on a cruise together, meaning one cabin, one bed, things should happen. But said friend seemed to not realize that was insinuated with the invite.
It's automatically insinuated.
She didn't seem to think that, but we educated her.
I think so. I think she knew it. I think she was playing dumb.
I don't know.
Because you don't want to be on a cruise with somebody that you don't want to bang to begin with.
Right?
Like, that's just human nature 101.
Why do most married people go on cruises?
Well, because you're usually going with like 10 of your other family members. And,
okay.
It's true. I have never been on a cruise.
Me neither. I have no desire to go on a cruise.
I did years ago with the old firm that I worked with. We did like this firm event and we tried doing deep sea fishing. And I got so sick, like literally puking on the boat. The world was spinning and it shouldn't have been.
On the boat!
Yeah, cruises are nothing like a small boat.
No.
You don't realize you're on a boat at all. I mean, I used to get motion sickness myself, and I've been on a dozen cruises, and I only had one. So even out of a dozen cruises at a week at a time, there's only been one day that I didn't feel good. And it's because there was a storm and the boat was really rocking. But other than that, like 59 out of 60 days, I've never had a problem.
I just have an anxiety of being away that long and not being able to get back home if I wanted to be back home. Like that's
well, if you have a passport, you can always like. Of course, if you're in the water, you're stuck. But if you are in a port for like a day or two, or if you're moving around,
take
you can
taxi
always
in Mexico, get on an airline, and
possibly
fly home.
get kidnapped and murdered.
Jesus,
right?
Fuck that. No, so I don't know. Maybe a 3-day, but I don't know. People who do the 7 days, like
I would never start with the week cruise. I would definitely start with like a 3-day, 2-night, like a long weekend.
As far as like paying for vacations go, cruises are the most cost efficient, I would say, because you get your hotel room, you get all your meals, you get activities. There's music, there's pools, there's Broadway shows that are pretty entertaining. So it's all your entertainment, everything all in one shot. So unless you're getting the upgrades to the fancy restaurant or some of the upgraded stuff,
Jay will have to tell us how those go.
Your fixed price is
Jay loves cruises. I mean, I know people that love cruises.
Yeah.
I get it. People love cruises, but I just don't see it. It's like you go somewhere, you want to come back. Like last night, we were at the Hard Rock Casino.
You literally had the option of staying the night. And you're like, I could have stayed. I
could still be there. I could be like, you know what? We'll do this. We'll do the show tomorrow. We can move the show a day. I mean, we have a room for 2 days, but I was just like, it's been fun. We'll maybe come back tomorrow.
And the cruise ships also have casinos too.
I'm not a gambler though. I gamble in life, not with money.
Was going to be one of the things I was going to complain about earlier. So you talked about getting the rewards card for the casino, and if the guys that go on the cruises a lot, they gamble in the casino and they use their rewards card. They get comped cruises the next time. Like I'm sure Jay probably gets comped cruises.
I'm sure
he gets comped
probably
upgrades or whatever because the money that he spends in the casino. And I'm like, I don't get that benefit because I don't spend a lot of money in the casino. But I go and I spend $3,000 in the art gallery. And because the art gallery, even though it's on the ship, is not associated with the ship, you don't get like the reward benefits.
Oh, that sucks.
So I spend more money in the art gallery than people do in the casino, and I don't get the rewards out of it.
That sucks.
So that's okay. I have the artwork to prove for it though.
My grandparents used to go to Biloxi all the time, and they would go so often that they would get free flights up to Biloxi, free shuttles from the airport to the hotel, free rooms, free food, comps. That's how my grandmother got her first iPad because it was a free reward that they got. And they always broke even or came home with money, and they still got all these free perks, even though they didn't lose their ass whenever they were there. I was
Yeah.
like, when I get old and retire, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I mean, they have cruises that last all year. They have like a year-long cruise.
Yep.
Not crazy, man. Probably like 30 grand or something.
A little bit more than that, but yeah.
Is it? How much is it?
Oh, there was one that I was just reading about. Supposed to be like, I think 90 a year,
Wow.
and it's going to be like a 2-year or a 3-year cruise. Goes around the world to like 130 countries.
Go way down.
There's some pretty big, elaborate ones out there, but some of the more popular long ones are like 6 months, and those are like 20,000-30,000.
Damn.
Good luck.
Yeah,
Not for me.
If you got nothing to do, take a cruise.
I currently have too much to do, so I'm going to pass. So, Nun's body still intact after 4 years of being buried. No signs of decomposition.
But they say that she wasn't embalmed and she was in a plain, like, wood box, nothing fancy, and the box was cracked. And so moisture had gotten into the coffin. And then when they found her, she was covered in like some type of like algae or due to the moisture content in the coffin. She was
She was dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was buried in a
I'm
coffin.
just saying, maybe she was in there and she had like Doritos and some bottles of water.
Maybe.
And she was only dead for like a week.
No,
you
it
know?
was, it was, yeah. So it was 4 years ago. And apparently they were digging her up to move her
It just, everything
to like
is
her
just,
final resting place, which I don't
Everything's just
understand
really
why
suspicious.
they would move. I don't know. But they're calling it like a miracle and people are flocking to see her dead body. And
it's like the stained glass mirror in Clearwater on US 19.
but they say that
30 years ago.
she has no signs of decomp, but her hands are like mummified looking. It's just her face still has like puff to it. It's not like it got sunk in or dried out or anything. That's
Maybe
the one.
she used a moisturizer cream or something. You got to figure out
I
what
mean-
she used because that's got to be good.
You know what they say.
Somebody's going to make a million off that ad campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
L'Oreal.
It's probably just cold cream, like the old, your grandma always, it's just cold cream.
I think there's something to it, though. I think they're probably trying to get some donations or
You
something.
think she pulled
be.
a
Maybe
David Blaine?
fudging some records or something.
Wasn't it David Blaine that had like buried himself alive, and then he secretly had snuck out like the back door?
There's like a trap in the, yeah.
It was a secret sneak out the back
course.
door and like hide for a week and
Right.
then let them dig you up a week later.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't
liar.
know.
I mean,
What
be a-
ifs?
be a- if you're gonna be an illusionist, be a good one
Right.
at
Yeah.
least.
Well, it's like, wasn't there a movie in the 90s called Buried Alive and the wife tried killing her husband and she poisoned him, but it was like something to where it just made his heart stop enough that they buried him real quick 'cause she was trying to collect life insurance. And then he wakes up in the coffin and then his dog is like sad and like laying on his tomb and helps dig him out. And then he, gets revenge on his wife. No one else remembers that
No,
movie?
I don't.
Did
If
but-
not,
Did
if it
you
was a
sell
dream and
your-
I need to make this movie, then let's do it right now.
I was gonna
It's
say,
recorded.
Did
It's
you,
my idea.
Did you write this down and sell your life rights or something?
No, but it's a great.
I remember seeing a story about a prisoner he was an inmate and he was going to be, there was somebody there, like an old man that was going to help him escape. But part of that was he had to be put in a coffin and buried. And then the old man was going to come and dig him out.
Up. Okay.
And I guess they would bury inmates 2, 3, 4 at a time. So he had to be in this box with like 4 or 5 other inmates.
What?
Yeah. And so they were burying the inmates and he was in there and he was the only one alive in the box.
Well, I would hope so.
And then it shows him like in the box and he gets matches and he like lights a match and he realizes one of the guys in the box was the guy that was supposed to dig him out.
That would be a shit twist to the story.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my
he was
God.
like, "Oh my God." I don't, it was like one of those, maybe not Tales from the Crypt, but
It sounds like one of those, though.
one of those deals.
Twilight Zone.
Twilight Zone or something.
my
you know.
gosh.
I was young. I was
Tales from the Crypt. That's a throwback.
oh, yeah.
Blast from the past.
Mm-hmm. They had some good shit.
That little skeleton in the beginning.
Oh my God. He
That was
scared me so
funny.
bad as a kid. Now I can look
No?
at him and I laugh.
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, I couldn't even look at the TV if he was on it.
I mean,
Even his
he
voice.
looks like Chucky if Chucky was dead. You know?
And a real person. Yeah. I
but-
still can't look at the old Chucky.
So the Oscar Mayer Wiener Mobile is being renamed.
It's so stupid.
It's now being called the
Frank Mobile.
Frank Mobile. What are they doing that because Wiener is offensive?
No clue.
I mean,
I don't know.
just a publicity stunt.
Maybe.
Joe had some good wieners cooking over the weekend.
Yeah.
Omaha Steaks.
Omaha steak wieners.
They give you a big fat hot dog. I'll tell you.
Juicy wieners.
Yeah.
The guy at Lowe's had freaking 12-inch dogs too.
Yes. he did.
Those look really good.
And we had just eaten, so we were like, ooh.
I know. Otherwise, I probably would have got one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those were good. Joe did a good job cooking.
Yep. Some of those, they're so big that you have to cook them like long and slow. Otherwise, they'll cook on the outside and not on the inside. So it's difficult when you cook meat that's too thick.
Well, we then went to Hard Rock.
Yeah.
And it's hard not to eat when you're at Hard Rock.
A lot of hards going on with talking about
A
wieners.
lot of hard wieners. So we went there. We still ate. We still went to the Hard Rock Casino.
You had a whole, well, you had a half rack of ribs.
I boxed the others and gave them to Rossi. But yeah, we still ate $174 worth of food and drinks.
There was a lot of alcohol. You're hungover. That's a lot of alcohol.
I mean, I wasn't hungover, but enough to where I'm like, look, I drank Sunday.
And we got Rossi's meal, so.
Drank Monday.
And her drinks.
Yeah, it's just like sometimes you need a
break. But back to the Wiener Mobile.
Yeah.
I feel like the Wiener Mobile, the name was kind of like a little shtick they could have kept using. Like, it's dumb. The Frank Mobile, what the hell? Sounds like it's named after a guy, not a hot dog.
I mean, it's also a cultural shift in times. Like, years ago, they called them weenies. Like, oh, you make your weenies with your mama's toe jam. Like, that was from Sandlot. It was commonplace for kids to call them weenies. But then weenie was insulting to a kid that was wimpy. Now all of a sudden weenie is really like offensive. Like, I guess it's a cultural shift that, what's offensive and what's not,
I guess. I don't get it. It's still the same. It's the same freaking vehicle.
Yeah.
Just a different name.
I mean,
I feel like dachshund lovers can't use the Oscar Mayer Wiener Mobile as like a little joke anymore.
When you go into the store, what do they have on the sign? Do they have the sign that says wieners?
No, I think they just say Oscar Mayer hot dogs or something.
Well, you got hot dogs, you got Franks, you got Frankfurters. I mean,
so listen
Beanie
to this.
Weenies.
There's a little town controversy. An Indian official drains reservoir to retrieve phone that he dropped while taking a selfie. So this area in India, they're like literally like suffering from drought. Like,
and murder in the streets.
Murder in the streets, yeah. That's a different story.
What happened to the Echo?
Murder.
Murder.
So this city's going through like a huge drought, and they have like hundreds and thousands of gallons of water that this town relies on during the drought. And the city official or county official, state official, whatever the fuck he is, government official is all it says, taking a selfie, drops his phone in the reservoir, and he demands that, like, he orders it be drained so he can get his cell phone.
Because his phone's still going to work?
It didn't work. It was a Samsung.
I'm sure it was an Apple.
Let that be known.
There was probably some like incriminating evidence that he didn't want anyone to be able to retrieve.
That's the best place for it then.
No, but you can, if there's like a chip in there, they can retrieve the chip and put it into a new device. And if he has photos that with women that aren't his wife or whatever, you never know.
Younger than his daughter.
Right.
India's version of Epstein.
Yep.
I don't know. I thought that was stupid.
I agree.
Humans. How about this health insurance?
Talk about wasting water.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
water shooting out the side of my house.
Right. Yeah. What's your well?
Not on purpose, but
Yeah, you're going to get a discount from the county though. They're not going to charge you allegedly.
Who'sedly.
So health insurance companies are denying claims left and right, and there was a health insurance company that denied a claim to a 4-day-old infant, and they denied the claim, stating that you have a bottle and you're breathing, and denied the claim.
What was the claim for?
What, right. What was
It was the birth care, like the baby care, intensive care for the baby, I guess. When a baby's born, it's in the hospital for a week.
It should typically only be like 48 hours.
Unless it's,
24 to 48 hours.
it's in the NICU,
NICU,
like,
right.
Premature birth.
Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. But they wrote a letter, not to the parents of the child. They wrote a letter with the baby's name on it. And it said, reason for denial, you have a bottle and you're breathing.
There's so much information that's missing for us to even be able to comment
This
appropriately.
was on the news today. Like, that's
Fake
exactly
news.
how
right,
they...
but like, what was the claim for? Just NICU services? Like, you were...
Sure. A baby,
Maybe there was like a feeding tube that they didn't want to pay for, or there's something missing that like you don't have all the information. Did you pull a me and you only read the headline?
Google it while we're
Did you
sitting
only
here.
read the headline and not the full article?
Watched it on the news.
Oh.
I mean, I've heard that there are other like stories with babies in healthcare because your baby is not on the insurance policies like before they're born. And then once they're born, you have like a 30-day window to go ahead and have them added to your policy. And if you don't add them in that 30 days, like then they start like denying stuff like claims and stuff. But
from like the first 30 days, they deny
the
those
first 30
claims.
No,
Okay.
no, like
This
the
is
first 30 days you're covered under the parents.
Oh, okay.
But then after that, like if you didn't add them to your policy.
Gotcha. The grace period's gone.
But if something happens, like, and they're in the hospital the entire time, the first thing that the parents are not thinking about is, oh, I got to fill out paperwork for the insurance company.
I have the article.
All right, so fuck you.
Then read it.
Health insurance providers, it seems, are as cruel as ever, as evidenced by a letter sent to a newborn's family denying the infant coverage for neonatal care in an intensive care unit. In an editorial for the Washington Post,
Fake news.
I was
Kaiser
waiting for him to say that.
Kaiser Family Foundation senior contributing editor Elizabeth Rosenthal described the problem as insurance claim denials in the starkest terms by providing examples of real letters people have gotten denying them and their loved ones coverage. One such letter, sent directly to a newborn baby, was so absurd if it weren't real and published in WAPO, whatever the fuck that is.
Washington
that?
Post.
Oh, we would think it was satire. You are drinking from a bottle, read the denial letter for the infant. His fourth day in the neonatal ICU ward. You are breathing on your own. If only the baby could be real.
If only the baby can read.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Like,
So it's a real thing. It happened. And they give a few other examples of how insurance companies are denying babies.
it's pretty
Maybe
fucked up.
they're assuming that he
Denying
didn't
healthcare,
need
rather.
the NICU services, that he could have just been like in a regular
I'm sure he didn't
ER
choose
kind of
that.
thing, not intensive care. Right. I'm sure the baby didn't sign a waiver saying, no, send me to the NICU. But maybe they're saying that because he's breathing on his own and he's taking a bottle, he doesn't need a breathing machine. He doesn't need constant monitoring, feeding tubes, whatever else. So maybe that's
Okay.
they were saying you're.
So you're pro denial.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just trying to. Again, the
Laura's
article
the
isn't.
one signing the denial letters at the healthcare provider.
I am.
And she
No, I'm
she
just. I'm
accidentally sent it to the baby.
assuming. I'm assuming that's the reason why.
Okay.
Says the person without insurance. So I know it all.
True.
Are you on Obamacare?
No, fuck Obamacare.
You just wait and see what happens?
Yeah, pretty much. When they had when you were required to have insurance, I didn't qualify for Obamacare. Or no, it was through Obamacare, but my policy was still almost $350 a month. And that was it was literally only for catastrophic coverage. So I literally would have had to have lost an arm for this insurance policy to kick in. And that's it. Like if I wanted regular health insurance coverage, go to a doctor, go to a, primary care, whatever it is, it would have been probably close to $500 a month. And I was like, fuck that. I'm like, no. So
Well, mine was going to be $675 a month with Obamacare.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It helped a lot, sure. But for people who were forced into getting it and
Well,
didn't help
I mean,
at all.
Yeah, but it was stupid. So I figured even if I go to the ER one time and my bill, is several $1,000s, I'll save that in 1 year by
Right.
not having insurance. And I'll just check in with some weird name and then slide out the back door like Houdini. Or David Copperfield or Blair. What was his name?
David Blaine?
David Blaine. Yeah,
Blaine.
that guy. So pizza, you can pay for it when you die. Have you heard that?
No, but we need to do that for Tuesdays, it sounds like.
So a pizza company is allowing people to pay for pizza when they're dead by signing over basically
Like a reverse mortgage.
well,
What are they signing over?
assuming you have things to give when you're deceased.
Like against your
Right. If
estate.
you have
assets.
if you have to put a loan against your estate, you probably don't have enough assets while you're living to even cover your pizza allowance.
But wouldn't that suck
while you're
though? Let's say you're, a kid, you're just growing up, you're, living a life, your family's doing their thing, and you go about your life and you're in your 50s, your mom or your dad are, they're at that time where they pass away and you're like, okay, well, maybe I'll get some of that inheritance.
Papa John's comes knocking at your door.
Papa John's like, no, they owe us $100,000.
Papa John's is
bro.
collecting.
Like, remember those boxes in the backyard? Those empty pizza boxes? That shit wasn't
60
free, bitch.
years of pizza.
Yeah.
60 years
Remember
of
that
pizza.
weekly pizza party we always had as a family?
Right.
Well, that was your inheritance.
Because you fucking wanted pepperoni.
Exactly. That would be shocking. So I thought that was funny.
Drinking with Drew, and I'm the only one drinking.
Right?
Well, you should have joined us last night. But this is the first show of the podcast since we started the podcast where I'm just drinking water. Drinking water with Drew.
Now, for any of our viewers, is it noticeable that he's actually sober?
Probably
Ooh,
not.
probably not.
I mean, in the quality of his stories or no?
No, because here's the thing.
You don't get drunk
when we
on
start
the show.
when we start filming. It's usually like the first beer or two that I've had. Like every once in a while, we'll sit in the garage and I'll have 2 beers. By the time we start the show, I'm usually on my second beer.
Max. And then you just
Usually-
had a slice or 2 of pizza on top of that.
Yeah.
So you don't have to make an emergency pee run.
Now where
Right.
I screw up is when I try to do the intro video. Like, so we'll do an intro video that I'll edit into the video and kind of talk about what we're going to talk about, and I'll edit it and put it on the edited versions of the YouTube video that is posted later. That sounded really confusing. And that sometimes I'm kind of a little drunk in because I'll sometimes do those videos after we've been hanging out in the garage for 3 hours.
Cigar.
Had a cigar.
Or- yeah,
You know,
mhm.
and so then that video is sometimes a little weird. But no, I'm fine. So Amazon drivers, and you had a story about this a few months ago that you talked about with a friend. Amazon drivers refused to a bathroom break. Did you hear about that? So there's apparently at the where all the Amazon drivers pull in, there's like their dumpster is full of pee bottles.
Oh, Jesus.
So where when the drivers are driving around all day and they're done, they have their pee bottles and they empty them all out in this dumpster behind Amazon warehouses. And so now there's this big thing going around to where it's being brought to light and they're discussing how they refuse to use the bathroom.
Well, I know that they have a very high expectation on the number of packages that their drivers have to hit like every day. I don't know if it's like based on your area or what, but I did have a friend that drove for Amazon for a while, and she said that her number was extremely high, and one of her stops was the locker options where you can have it delivered and you like pick it up at a location, and the drivers have like a key code that like opens the lockers, whatever it is, and it was not working, and she had to call technical support for the worker side and try and get this thing open. So she was there for over an hour trying to get these packages delivered to the lockers, and that ate into her drive time delivery for her other packages. And she wasn't going to finish all of her deliveries for the day. And she literally had to like quit and go get her kids because Amazon's like, finish your deliveries pretty much.
Right.
So she ended up having to quit because it was just so outrageous, their expectations and whatnot on the drivers. So it just didn't work with her family and their
The
schedules.
situation is that the drivers aren't actually Amazon employees. So they actually create their own delivery companies. And then they're like, a company may have 10 drivers, but they have minimum like standards because otherwise if they don't hit those numbers, then they lose their contract from Amazon. And so the Amazon itself has requirements, but then the individual company that they're working for has their additional requirements. And if they don't hit their targets, they lose their contracts.
Right.
And so that's the reason why they push so much. And yeah, it is true. It is a big deal with them basically peeing in Snapple bottles or, while they're...
That's what I have to do sometimes if I'm working a surveillance case.
Yeah.
Which is common.
I'm more upset when they go to deliver a package on the porch and they knock one of my plants over. Just saying. Watch out.
That's
people.
why we put out snakes in front. So
Right. However, it is funny when you see the videos online of the homeowners ring doorbell, and the Amazon drivers they'll put the package on and they'll bend over to like scan the barcode. And when they bend down, there's like a big prickly cactus behind them, and it like gets them right in their ass.
That was hilarious.
Those, I mean, I'd be okay with that, but I don't like prickly cactuses. There's none of those on the porch. Too bad.
Wasn't there an Amazon clip where an Amazon driver just walked right through like a police scene?
Yeah, he was trying to walk up to a police scene and they had to stop him.
Oh, the barricaded subject where he was just walking up, passing like...
He was passing the police tape, walking like,
Well, he eventually gave the package to one of the cops that were like... by the house.
But he made it past checkpoint 1 and like 2 or whatever.
He's got to make his numbers for the day,
Yeah.
Well, you got to think the first couple cops probably thought he was in like part of the like, oh, they must have hired an undercover to deliver a package, or something stupid. And then finally, like somebody up the chain, he finally ran into. He's like, who the fuck are you? Oh, I'm here to deliver the package.
That's funny.
Yeah. So that's all I have on my pamphlet for today, guys. So
we're pamphleted out.
I'm pamphleted out. We're over an hour. So I mean, we're an hour and 9 minutes.
We did it.
And we wore everybody out because we have
Yeah, we
5 viewers.
What?
Oh my God.
And then they all got scared away.
Yep.
We're down to 3.
We got 3.
Well,
Our
you wanna
3
talk-
lifers.
Do you want to talk about the 2 situations that one was like a year ago in Orlando where the guy I guess had an altercation with the sheriff's department. He tackles him at the gas station. So he rolls around the floor and he's got like gasoline on him. And then the cop or the sheriff's department tasers him.
Yeah.
And because he
blew up.
tasers him, he's up in a ball of fire.
Fireball.
And now he's like in the hospital and he's got like lifelong issues and there's like a lawsuit against the cop and all that now. But then coincidentally, like the week that news was airing about the cop, even though that happened a year ago, this week, somebody in Tampa poured gasoline on somebody at a gas station and lit them on fire on purpose.
Right. And that just
Good
happened
Lord.
like last night or something. So
like within the last week or so, yeah.
it was like, I want to say it was last night or maybe even Sunday night. But anyway, so I was in taser training and they didn't ever say anything about don't tase people who have gasoline on them. Don't tase people that are, there was no warnings given about not tasing people. As a matter of fact, they said that the electricity, like if she's tased, I could touch her and there's no current because the current's between the 2 prongs.
Yep.
So if the prong is here and the prong is here, the current is here. And you can touch their hand. That's why you can still arrest somebody when they're being tased because it doesn't affect where you're touching.
The limbs.
As long as you're not touching them between the prongs. So, I mean, that's where you say, okay, you're going to sue the cop or you're going to sue the agency or you're going to sue whoever put the training together because I'm sure.
I kind of just want to see it happen. I mean, that's got to be cool.
Well, now they have the pranksters going around acting like they're pouring gas on people's cars.
Like I saw that.
And
I haven't
the
seen
the
that.
kid almost
Oh my
got
God.
shot
The
because
guy, he pours water on the guy's truck and he's like, oh, no, it was a prank. It was a prank.
well,
The guy got out of the car with a gun.
Yeah,
He's like, you're fucking lucky you're
like, you
still
almost
alive
died.
right now.
He goes, you
Right.
almost died, you stupid son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And then the kid with the gas can starts calling the guy with a pussy. And I'm like, dude,
why are you
he still has a
instigating
gun
it?
in his hand.
Right.
He let you live.
you know?
Yeah.
You're lucky he let you live.
Like, seriously, man.
I saw that. I was like, oh my God, this guy really should shoot him.
The prank culture is like getting out of control. And I don't know why.
Well, it's because the internet.
Yeah.
Everyone nowadays can make a video that's funny and it can go viral. And that's what people are hoping for, that their stupid little funny 30-second video is going to make them famous. And they
Right.
just keep making stupid ones that
Well,
are
they
going to
had
get
the-
people killed.
They had the robbery, the ATM robbery prank where 2 guys were doing the prank. Well, 2 guys and I guess the guy videotaping it. So the guy was at the ATM, withdrawing money, and the kid that was in on it went up and they acted like he was getting robbed. But the bystanders didn't know that it was a prank.
And
So the
when-
bystanders jumped in and beat the dude to fucking shit and broke his nose in 3 places.
Good.
Put a third nostril in his nose. Put a hole in his nose.
And he's probably going to sue the people who beat him up because that's,
Fuck that.
you put yourself in a situation.
No.
Just like
Fuck
the
him.
guy that got tased. Well, what would have happened if he got shot instead? He would have died.
Yeah, but dead
You
men
know?
don't sue.
Well,
No.
their family still would have.
Yeah, I think at this point, I don't know if it's attorneys or just, common sense. Attorneys need to stop. They need to start laughing at these people when they walk in their office and try to sue for the stupidest shit. I know
Well,
that.
your buddy just said he only deals with the people who legitimately have
Right.
a
And
claim, not the people that are just looking for fame or looking for money.
right.
Yeah.
I mean,
think
that's an
more
honorable
attorneys
thing.
need to have that
Yeah.
mentality when it comes to this shit because it's just like you break into my house, you slip on my skateboard and you fall and bust your ass and snap your head.
That's your fault.
It's your fault, motherfucker. Broke into my house.
Yeah.
So, anywho,
That's why you can't, no one that comes in and gets bit by a dog in your house can sue.
well,
because
I've warned
they came-
people
they
several
came into your
times that we
house.
have a biter in here.
Yep.
So
Yeah. I mean,
you can't say I didn't tell you.
We've put it on the internet publicly. People have been forewarned.
We have biters.
nippers.
Laura's
Nippers.
one of them.
I am. I'm a biter though.
All right, y'all. Drinking with Drew. We're gonna head out. So we did it a little differently this week. We did live Facebook.
I noticed
Ooh.
that.
Usually we do live on YouTube. So we're just kind of switching it back. We're missing Garby tonight. We're missing Jay.
Well,
So it's
I
just
wouldn't
the
say
three
we're
of us.
missing them. Little victory sip right there.
But yeah, they're going to be back. I guess Garby will be back next week. Jay, I don't know what the deal is. He's working up north for a while, so he's probably going to be gone for a few months or something. So yeah, allegedly we're doing the body painting the week after my birthday. So the model has a friend. They're going to come in and do the body painting. So depending on how much money Laura has left after Council Oak next week, we'll see if that flies.
Not a single fucking penny.
Well, you don't pay insurance. You got to spend your money on something.
Exactly. So that should be interesting. Koi
On
ponds.
fish.
So we have the body. We bought the body paint, so it's happening. So we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll end up just painting Laura.
Did you guys test it out?
Oh, no.
Just a little fun time.
No, well, we painted her briefly.
My tatas.
We did a little sample paint.
It was literally like
Siren
finger paint.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah, the band Siren came in and we did a little sample painting for them. It's on their video. Check it out, drinkingwithdrew.com. So yeah, we have everything on the socials, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook group page, all that good stuff. So join it if you want to. And we'll be here next week. Tuesdays, usually around 7 p.m. is when we've been starting. So we'll check you out and see you next week. Where's my music at?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
It's a failure.
There you go.
Drinking with Drew. Thank you to attorney Jared McCabe for hanging out. And if you want to come on the show, you know how to get in touch with me, or just call in. We like those mysterious happenstance calls.
Come join the body paint.